I remember buying that game and being so excited that they wouldn't make the same mistakes as Star Wars Battlefront, but then I got it and there was nothing in the game. There was nothing to do. Hey everyone, so this Friday, Star Wars Squadrons comes out on all platforms and consoles. It's going to be an amazing game, but I thought I'd take a trip down memory lane and go ahead and rank all of the old Star Wars games from legendary to crappy. Alright, Star Wars for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. This game was tough. Like, a lot of the platform games on the SNES were really hard, but this game was really hard. It was a nice introduction to the Star Wars universe, but I found it so tough. I couldn't even get off the first Tatooine level as Luke. So, for that reason, I'm going to have to put it in meh. I'm sure if you got your head around the physics and everything like that, it was an easier game to play than I'm making out. But for me, it's sticking in meh. Alright, now we come on to the Jedi Knight series. We've got Jedi Outcast 2 and Jedi Knight. So Jedi Knight was the first in this series. You got to play as Kyle Katarn, and you basically got to level him up from like a Padawan Jedi. And it was my first experience of building my very own Jedi and like, you know, collecting all of those saber parts and things like that. Super awesome game. The only reason I'm putting Jedi Outcast 2 below it is because it didn't have that originality factor, but if you've never played Jedi Outcast or Jedi Knight before, go ahead, check that game out. Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Now, these games, incredible lead character, Starkiller, fantastic story, amazing cutscenes with Darth Vader, but it just felt like a movie. It felt like I was playing through a movie. If you guys have ever played Tomb Raider, the Tomb Raider games, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You don't feel like you have any freedom in the game. You're guided down this one path, and that's all you can do. That's how I felt with the Star Wars Force Unleashed games, so for me, they're gonna stay in the meh section.
Star Wars Rebel Strike, never played. Jedi Knight, never played.
Star Wars for the Kinect. Now, this one's a really hard one to rank because I feel like if they'd got the AR right, this could have been a really fun and good game. But the Kinect was such an awful augmented reality tool that I'm gonna have to rank this one down in the rubbish section. I could never get this to work with my Kinect. It just felt clunky, and it's staying down there. It's rubbish, it's crappy, leave it down there. Lego Star Wars. Now, these games were dope, but before I rank this one here, I'm actually going to find the original. Star Wars the video game. This was my first ever intro to a Lego Star Wars game, and for me, it has that nostalgia factor. It's staying up there in awesome. All of the other Lego Star Wars games are solid, fun, and funny games, but they're all going to stay underneath Lego Star Wars the video game for me. They're all going to go to fun to play a couple times.
Clone Wars I never played. Mysteries of the Sith I never played.
Oh my god, Star Wars Bounty Hunter. This is one of those games that nobody gives enough credit. I played this on the GameCube. I think it was also available on the PS2. This game was so good. It was so good. You take over Jango Fett, go around Coruscant hunting for bounties, using your night vision goggles to identify crooks and criminals in a crowd of innocent people. It's such a good game. If you've never played this Star Wars game, you are missing out. Star Wars Dark Forces. Now we're talking, guys. This is basically Doom 64, but with a Star Wars skin. It was such a good game. If you're a fan of Doom, you'd be a fan of Star Wars Dark Forces. As real-time strategy games go, Galactic Battlegrounds is about as good as it gets. I rank it up there with Battle Realms, Battle for Middle-earth, all of these amazing real-time strategy games. Galactic Battlegrounds is incredible. You can create your own like custom wars. You can put every tiny unit in to create this massive army. It's so impressive. It's also available on Steam right now for like £5, I think. A lot of these games are available on Steam in like a nostalgic Star Wars packet. Go check it out.
Elite Squadron I never played. I believe that was like a handheld game or something. Jedi Masters never played either.
Now, the next game is an interesting one. We come on to the first ever MMORPG, the first ever Star Wars MMORPG, which is the Old Republic. This game, I wanted to be so good. And for the first 5 hours of gameplay, it was amazing. Unfortunately, eventually, it became very clear that to progress in the story, you had to get behind a paywall. You had to pay the subscription, the monthly subscription. And for that reason, it's gonna stay down in meh, which is a shame because I feel like the way it was built, it's a fantastic game. As a free game, if we didn't have to pay for that XP, it would be so much fun. But because of the paywall, it's staying down in meh. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. This is a Star Wars RPG which hits home. And I think I'm saying this for a lot of Star Wars video game fans out there. This is one of the best, if not the best, Star Wars video game of all time. It's elegant, it's accessible, it's adventurous, it's everything you want from an RPG. It's not sitting back on all of the original trilogy characters, it's building this whole new canon for Star Wars, and it's just fantastic.
Star Wars Starfighter, never played.
Soaked. Shadows of the Empire. Shadows of the Empire is a third-person shooter. You play as Dash Rendar, and you're basically like a second-hand Han Solo. But what happens in this game, you get your first experience of the Battle of Hoth as a video game player. You get to fight against massive villains. IG-88, Boba Fett. You get to go on swooper bikes. It's just fantastic. The only issue with this is the Nintendo 64 controller and the control system. This game is going at awesome. If Nintendo had sorted out their control system for that game, I would put it up at Legendary. Oh my god, who can forget the first time they ever raced at the Boonta Eve Classic? Star Wars Episode 1 Racer as a racing game is fantastic. And you know what I love about the Episode 1 Racer is how many unlockables there are. You can also mod your vehicles. You can buy like different parts to make it faster, to make it more reliable. The only issue I'd have with it is that it has not dated very well. I went back the other day to try and play it, and it hasn't dated that well. Needless to say, fun to play a couple times. It's going up there. Star Wars Battlefront and Star Wars Battlefront 2 need no explanation. These are the only games that I feel that might actually challenge for that top spot with KOTOR. Rogue Squadron 3D. This game was, I think, the first ever Star Wars game that I played on Nintendo 64 and PC. Brilliant game. You get experience of flying X-Wings. It's a little bit clunky, and some of the level designs are very blocky. But other than that, solid game, fun to play a couple times. Star Wars Battlefront is getting a meh. And I'll tell you why, because I compared it to the original Star Wars Battlefront, and for me, massive disappointment. It just didn't feel like there was as much action, as much fun. And the same can be said for Star Wars Battlefront 2, except they also hid everything behind a paywall. I remember buying that game and being so excited that they wouldn't make the same mistakes as Star Wars Battlefront, but then I got it and there was nothing in the game, there was nothing to do. Star Wars Battlefront 2, you're getting a rubbish. I don't care what patches, DLCs they brought out since then. I've heard it's turned into a pretty good game, but as a release game, Battlefront 2 was dreadful. Star Wars Empire War is basically a revamped Galactic Battlegrounds. You also get some amazing space battles. I didn't play it that much, so I'm going to put it up in fun to play a couple times. Now, Jedi Fallen Order. Looks fantastic. Feels great. I just didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it, guys. Jedi Fallen Order's story is brilliant, but it's another one of those cinematic theatrical games. I just don't feel like I had the freedom that some of the other Star Wars games gave me. For that reason, Star Wars Fallen Order, as much as it pains me, is going into the mess section. Star Wars Jedi Starfighter was basically a Rogue Squadron sequel. Didn't have the nostalgia feature for me. Putting it into meh. It's a solid game, but I just don't think it's as good as some of the other ones up there. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 Sith Lords. Brilliant game. Just didn't quite live up to the original. So it's going up into awesome. Now, I think the next one might be the most controversial pick of the video. Star Wars The Phantom Menace for PC, PS1, and I think maybe another console as well. This game, I can't tell you why, but I loved it. It was horrifically designed. It had horrific voiceovers, but for some reason, being in that gas chamber at the start as Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, and then coming out and destroying those battle droids, walking my way through the Trade Federation starship, even chasing down Gungans in the swamps of Naboo. I grew up with The Phantom Menace. That was the Star Wars movie that came out when I was, how old was I? I was 6. And so being able to play inside that environment was just amazing for me. And I'm putting The Phantom Menace up at awesome level. Let me know if you disagree. I know there's going to be a lot of people who do, but I love that game. Star Wars Rogue Leader. This game was awesome because it allowed us to do the Death Star trench run for the first time ever. Purely for that reason, it's going up in awesome. Last game on the list that I have actually played is Star Wars Republic Commando. I don't get the hype around this game. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. It's a squad-based game with like tactics and stuff, but I just didn't like it. It's going in rubbish, and I'm sure there's going to be a few people who don't like that decision either. There's a few games there at the bottom. Darth Vader Immortal, that's a VR game. If you've played it, let me know, and let me know where you'd put it on the ranking list. And the other 7 at the bottom there that I've not played either. So there you have it, guys. That's my ranking for all of the Star Wars games that were in this list. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments section if you agree or disagree, and also let me know what Tiermaker videos you'd like to see from Level 1 in the future. I will see you on Friday for the Star Wars Squadrons release, or if you're watching this in the future, go back and watch the Star Wars Squadrons stream. Make sure to hit that subscribe button before you go, check out some similar videos, and I will see you later. Bye!